Chapter 7 The Great Judge. The Hindustani sages cite the Prakriti in all of their sacred books. The Prakriti is that primordial substance from where the 12 basic fundamental hydrogens, which serve as foundations to the seven cosmos, emerge by successive condensations or crystallizations. Variety in its own depth is a unity, since tattvas, senses, mind, and all of those other multiplicities of beings and things become diverse modes of crystallization of the primordial substance. The fire which blazes, the air which is which not a single living creature could exist without, the waters of the boisterous sea, and the perfumed earth are condensed akash, materialized mula prakriti, and densified prakriti. Mother space is therefore the primordial substance, the R matter of the great work. Perhaps they mean gray matter, I'm not sure. Space as mother is the fertile bosom from which everything emerges and everything immerses. Let definitively be declared in this chapter, Mother Space is the same Prakriti of the Hindustani, the Divine Mother. The Prakriti is one, unique, indivisible, and integral integer, during the Pralaya, or cosmic night. Yet during the Maha Manvantara, cosmic day, as a consequence of the activity of the first, second, and third logos, the Prakriti expands and builds up from herself in three aspects. In three modes of the Prakriti are, first, the unmanifested Prakriti, next, the Prakriti in nature, third, the Prakriti as queen of the infernos and death. The unmanifested Prakriti has no symbol amongst the Aztecs. The manifested Prakriti nature as the Aztec symbol of Tonatzin, the adorable mother. The Greeks symbolized this second aspect of the cosmic mother as the chaste Diana or Diana. Among the Aztecs, the third aspect of the Divine Mother is the terrible Quatlicu. Among the Egyptians, she is Proserpine, or Proserpine. And among the Greeks, she is the tremendous Hecate, lady of enchantments and death. Mother Space herself is the same Roman Appia, the Nordic Urvala, the Scandinavian Urda, the chivalrous Urgada, the primeval Sibyl of the earth, or Sibyl of the earth. Any of the three aspects of the Prakriti can, if she wishes, take on a feminine shape in order to communicate something to any illuminated mystic. One summer night, I was in that state, which is known in the Eastern world as Nirvikalpa or Samadhi. What happened to me during that meditation was very profound. It was something marvelous. Before me, the third aspect of Prakriti took on the frightful and terribly divine shape of Proserpine or Hecate, and then she spoke to me in a language with apocalyptic signification. This perverse civilization of vipers, this great Babylon, will be destroyed, and in all of its cities, one stone upon another will not remain. The evil of the world is so great that it has even reached onto heaven. There is no remedy for this humanity. It is totally lost. Then, overflowing with great terror, I uttered, "O mother of mine, we are on a dead-end street." Then with a parable, Proserpine asked me, "Do you want to make a covenant with me?" I said, "Yes, mother of mine, I am willing to fulfill that covenant." With great decisiveness, this answer came from my lips. Then Proserpine The queen of the Infernos and death took the floor again with a parable and told me, "Open the dead-end street, and I will kill them." I immediately answered, "I accept, mother of mine, lady of mine." Then certain upper-class ladies passed by in front of us. These ladies achieved the second birth. Thus the solar light splendorously emanated from within their solar bodies. Unfortunately, these ladies had not dissolved the pluralized I, nor had they eliminated their lunar bodies. I saluted them, yet they did not answer, and full of pride they did not even prostrate themselves with reverence before the Divine Mother. They still have pride, and this is because they still carry within themselves the remnants of the great harlot whose number is 666. This was the only thing that occurred to me to say. The Divine Mother answered, "I have to examine all of them." Evidently, she was referring to the twice-born of this epoch in which we live. Certain gentlemen also dressed with solar bodies passed by in front of us. Yet, contrary to the former ladies, they inclined themselves and were filled with profound reverence and respect for the Divine Mother and my insignificant person who has no value. "These children are the sun, are of the sun," exclaimed the Cosmic Mother. Afterwards, I entered into a period of profound reflection. If some of the twice-born must still be rigorously examined, then what fate lies ahead for the great harlot? What then would be the fate that lies ahead for this lunar race? It is obvious that all confessional regions are awaiting the final judgment of this humanity, of this degenerated and perverse lunar race. Yet, according to the chronology of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, the Last Judgment already occurred between the years 1946 and 1953. We, the Gnostics, know by illumination and direct transcendental experience that the judgment of all nations occurred in the year 1950. The holy gods judged the great harlot, humanity, and they considered it unworthy. The sentence of the gods was to the abyss, to the abyss, to the abyss. It is interesting that during the epoch of the judgment of the nations, 1946 to 1953, according to the measurements of the Great Pyramid of Egypt, an enigmatic subterranean chamber ends in a rocky, obscure, dead-end chamber. Obviously, through this dead-end chamber, the wise constructors of the Great Pyramid of Egypt wanted to tell us that after the final judgment, humanity will enter into the infernal worlds, which Dante found within the interior of the earth. The apocalypses of St. John, Revelation 20:11-15, refer to the Great Judgment. "And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were open, and another book was opened, which is the book of one, and the dead were judged out of those things which were written in the books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them, and they were judged every man according to their works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death. And whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire." All the symbolism of the Great Pyramid of Egypt starts when one treads upon the great step. Afterwards, the first lower passage becomes clear when you begin walking, and the remarkable date of August 4 to 5, 1914 appears. This symbolism continues until one reaches the entrance of the king's chamber. The date September 15 to 16, 1939 is marked with complete precision. It is overwhelming to find that these two terrible dates related with the First and Second World Wars are found in the geometry and chronology of the Great Pyramid. What is most intriguing about all of this is that, due to their construction and form, it is not possible to pass through these cited passages standing in alone. In order to walk through, it is necessary to use all fours, like the quadruped of animals. This reminds us of the soldiers who walk on their hands and knees, or who drag themselves like animals in the fields of battle. According to the Great Pyramid, our epoch has to pass through three periods: death, preoccupation, and chaos. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Matthew 24, 15, 21, 22. Since the First World War, the former prophecy is being fulfilled in a dramatic way. The geometrical measurements of the Great Pyramid point towards the First World War, towards the interval between the First and the Second Wars, towards the year 1939, with the dates 1516 of September, marking the beginning of the Second World War, and it also tells us of the duration for each one of these great wars. Finally, in the chamber of the judgments of nations, the Great Pyramid places humanity in front of the Great Judge. The King's Chamber ends on the date 1920 of August 1953. So 19 to 20 of August, year 1953. Now, the doom that lies ahead is work for Proserpine. She will terminate this entire humanity